The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. The apostles said to the Lord, "Increase our faith." The Lord replied, "If you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you would say to this mulberry tree, 'Be uprooted and planted in the sea,' and it would obey you. Who among you would say to your servant who has just come in from plowing or tending sheep in the field, 'Come here immediately and take your place at the table'? Would he not rather say to him, 'Prepare something for me to eat. Put on your apron and wait on me while I eat and drink. You may eat and drink when I am finished'? Is he grateful to that servant because he did what was commanded? So should it be with you. When you have done all you have been commanded, say, 'We are unprofitable servants. We have done what we were obliged to do.'" The Gospel of the Lord. There was a story about a woman who was very well known for her holiness, her kindness, and her extremely calm in all circumstances. And people admired her very much, and they always wondered why she could find peace and joy in her life in all circumstances like that. So one day a friend came to visit her and asked, "What is your secret to be such a holy and kind person? Is it because you have a great faith in God?" The woman smiled and answered, "No, I don't think I ever have a great faith, but I just simply put my little faith in a great God." Put our little faith in a great God. Now, Jesus told his disciples, and he also told us today, that if we have faith the size of a mustard seed, we can say a sesame seed, for example, then we could tell the trees to move and they would obey. Now, Jesus didn't mean to embarrass or to look down on us, but he just pointed out a fact that our faith is still weak, because we still expect from God the things of this world, because we still push God aside to choose money, to choose power, to choose pleasure, and to choose all the kinds of attractions this world provides. There are times that we are weak, but we try to cover up. We think we don't need God because we can do everything. Because if we really think about it, the more we think we can, the more we will find that we cannot. The more we think we can, the more we find out that we cannot. So the first thing I'd like to share with you today is that as we are aware that our faith is still weak, we are invited to let God fill in the blank for us. To let our love for God be our joy and our strength above suffering, and to leave God the space to work wonders in our lives. And when we let God fill in the blank of our faith, we can also practice our faith in a more practical and effective way. That is to become like the servants of God and servants of other people around us. In the view of the disciples of Jesus, and probably of all of us too, having faith in God would mean privileges and benefits, because we expect rewards for following God's rules with all the commandments, all the obligations, all the stuff that we have to do as Catholics. And we think when we do them, God should reward us. But we are reminded today by Jesus in the Gospel that we are called to be servants of God and servants of one another. Because as servants, we know that we have a master, and we do things for the master out of obedience and out of responsibility. without being so proud of ourselves, without expecting too much from the Master. Service goes hand in hand with our faith in God, because we are commanded by Jesus to love God and to love one another. And what we do for the service of God and for the service of one another is the proof that our love is sincere and not just on the lips, not just some kind of conditional love for benefits. How can we prove that we can love God and love one another sincerely without active work, without our service to God and to one another? So the second thing I'd like to share with you today is that our service for God and for one another is not a business or a favor to one another, but our responsibility as servants, because that is the best way that we can show our sincere love for God and sincere love for one another. And from faith to service, we wouldn't be able to do any of those without one thing: humility. It is very difficult for many of us these days to even imagine to humble ourselves before others, to put ourselves lower than anybody else. Because everywhere, from politics to entertainment, everywhere we see that people want fame and money. They want to show off what they don't actually have, just for the sake of self-satisfaction and self-pride. When we do things to seek benefits only for ourselves, either materially or spiritually, like when we obey God, but in our mind we wonder what we will get in return. When we only think about ourselves in what we do, we serve no one but ourselves. We see no one but ourselves. So brothers and sisters, in this 27th Sunday in Ordinary Time, let us together reflect on the 3 points, the 3 ideas that I have shared with you from the Gospel reading. First, our faith is still weak. So let us let God to fill in the blank for us. Let our love for God be our joy and our strength, and to leave God some space to work wonders in our lives. Don't fill the space with lust, with sins, with temptation, but leave them for God to come and fill them with God's grace. Second, our service for God and for one another is not a business for benefits. It's not our favor to God and to one another, but rather our responsibility as servants. Because that is the best way to show that we love God and love one another sincerely. And third, humility is the key to develop a good faith and to practice good service to one another. Because humility, not pride, helps manifest who we are as children of God and disciples of Jesus. Humility, not pride, not power, not money, helps manifest who we are as children of God and disciples of Jesus. Let God fill in the blank of our weak faith. Our service for God and for one another is our responsibility, not our favor to them. And humility is the key to develop a good faith and to practice good service to God and to other people. May God, who has begun a good work in us, also bring it to fruitful completion. Amen.